Something that men, young and old, have been doing wrong for years is we don't ask enough specific and detailed questions to women. We normally just regurgitate and copy the same questions we've heard over and over again. And now, with social media being the norm in this modern day and age, we normally regurgitate the same questions we hear on social media. We ask a woman questions like, what were things like with your last relationship? Maybe we'll ask that. That's probably as deep as we'll get. And the problem with men asking those questions is women are given the same old answers, and we need to be more specific and more direct with our questions. Lately in the last 3 years on dates, I ask a woman is how long have you kept a man? And I normally get like, a hesitation, a pause, a little bit of shock. And women don't seem to understand how to answer that question. Why? Because instead of me just asking them to tell me about their past relationships, and we all know they're going to lie and make themselves out to be the victim, instead of asking that same old question, ask something that will force them to either reveal themselves or just force them to tell the truth. How long have you kept a man in a relationship? What's the longest relationship you ever been in? You guys, men and women, whoever is watching this video, you'll be so shocked and surprised if you ask a woman that question in this day and age. How many women don't have long relationships? Or you'd be surprised at a woman at how long she thinks a relationship was. I went out on a date with this girl. She actually thought that 6 months was a long term relationship, and I had to tell her, I was like, 6 months ain't shit. I go, 6 months ain't enough time for you to really get to know anybody. You women are still putting on your fake phony ambassador, bringing your best to the table, your outwardly appearance to the table. It takes about 6 to 9 months before we actually get to know who you really are on the inside. You know what I'm saying? Before you women get comfortable in a relationship, it takes about 6 to 9 months for that. You know what I'm saying? That's when you want to see, that's when you want a woman to start getting comfortable. They start getting comfortable around 6 to 9 months. When they get comfortable, then the real woman's gonna come out. You really, really gonna get to see her. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you got people saying that the longest they've been in a relationship is like 6 to 9 months, they ain't really experienced anything. I mean, it's you very rarely hear people say, "Hey, my last relationship was 5 years or 2 years." Let's be a little bit easier. 2 years. You very rarely hear women saying that these days. These days, oh yeah, my longest relationship was 2 years. I hear 1 year, and like I said, that one chick, she was like 6 months. I'm like, 6 months? Are you serious? She was serious. And she wasn't really that young. She was 27, and I was like, "Wow, you're getting towards 30, and the longest relationship you've been in is 6 months." You got to understand, guys. Women who have been in relationships, the amount of time they've been in relationships, they're telling you their future. Oh, if I've been in the longest relationship I've been in is 2 years, well, that's probably her max. She's probably going to be able to get to around 2 years, and she's going to tap out. She's going to move on. If everything's going good for her. But if a woman tells you the longest relationship she's been in is 6 months and she's in her late 20s, she's telling you she's not good for long term relationships. So I don't know, guys. I just wanted to make sure I put this out there to you: is that women women need to be asked direct and specific questions. You know what I'm saying? Like when a woman talks about her past relationships, if she says she's only been in like 2 or 3 relationships, you're like, okay, I instantly don't believe them, and I'll tell them, hey, so you only been in 3 relationships. Oh, so what you mean is you've only been in a boyfriend girlfriend situation for three relationships, but in between that you were having sex and dating all these other guys, but you don't count those as relationships. You count those as dates. Okay, got it. And then I sit back and wait for their response. Very few women have been like, no, it ain't like that. Very few. Most of them are like, look, giving me that look like, how do you know? Are you stalking me? Do you know some one of my ex boyfriends or something? So We men need to be unafraid to ask honest, direct, and specific questions from now on. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't just ask them how many kids you got. You know, she says no, or just ask. It doesn't matter what response you get on a question like that, but just ask it. It's more direct. She needs to know that you're gonna come straight at her. You're gonna be direct and honest with her, and you're gonna ask direct and honest questions. So she needs to know, okay, I either need to just be direct and honest in return, or I need to get the fuck out of here because I'm too afraid to answer these questions. This guy's asking me the most specific shit. He's not asking me the same old boring ass questions like every other dude has asked me, and those questions I'm prepared for. You know what I'm saying? And guys, stop asking women, "What do you bring to the table?" That's a slang question. It's a slang term. Ask them exactly, hey, what do you have to offer to a man that makes him want to stay with you? What do you have that makes a man want to stay with you? Not what do you bring to the table. We're not bringing shit to the table. We're human beings. There is no table. We're not going to lay everything out on a table and reveal ourselves right up front. No woman's going to do that. No man's going to do that. But if you start asking the right questions, like, hey, what exactly do you believe that you have that will make a man want to stay with you for the long term? And by long term, I mean more than 2 years. What do you got? You'll be surprised at what answers you don't get from some women. Some women can't answer that question. All right, guys, stay tuned. Have a good one. Out.